Hello. Hi. Welcome to our second ever episode. I know it's really weird that we're saying a second. The first one's completely elsewhere. But hi, welcome to the second ever episode of the Tag and Tag Out podcast. This edition will be our post pay per view accounts of the interesting pay per view that was Stomping Grounds. I am
Interesting is a word you could use for it.
Yeah, interesting, right?
yeah, interesting. Um, I am. I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. I am Johnny. Guys, introduce yourself.
I'm Chicken, old time 30-year watching wrestling fan.
And I
And
am,
then,
and then there's the BJH Bowman person thingy.
seriously,
I'm a person, so that's everything
you are a
interesting about me.
person. You
Yeah, I
are a
am.
person.
I'm a
That's
person,
still
so
not. That's still not been clar. That's still not been clarified whether he is an actual person or not. He could be.
I have to provide proof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta fill in the
legal.
Oh,
gotta fill
okay.
in the
Well,
captcha code and click the "I'm not a robot." But
I'll deliver that paperwork in a few weeks.
okay, cool.
Yeah. So, I hope to God I didn't I'm recording this on my phone, ladies and gentlemen. So if you hear, I hope to God I didn't record my ringtone for things. So anyway, we'll worry about that later. So we just watched, with our friends, Stomping Grounds. This is the first post pay-per-view show that I have done, and I'm relatively new to this, and so is everyone else, to my knowledge.
It's
Yep.
June 23rd. About
Yes, this is the night of.
about 20 minutes after the pay-per-view has ended. So it's still
Yes.
really fresh in our minds, whether we want it to
Yes,
be
it.
or not.
Yes, it is.
Fucking tiring.
We'll go over that here as we speak. Where do you want to start, Johnny?
Well, would you guys start from the beginning and talk about the first few matches, or would you guys like to jump into the good parts, which there was very few of?
What good parts?
Actually,
what good? I mean, the wrestling quality was decent for
the
some
wrestling
of the
was decent, yeah.
depending on which match, but as far as furthering storylines and everything else, did we really do anything to further any storylines tonight?
Not really. We just added
we
new wrinkles.
we I mean, did we
We
end the Dolph Kofi
I
storyline, or is it continuing?
believe we did,
I hope so.
but I doubt it. Yes, I doubt it.
It was that interview that Dolph did afterwards that makes me wonder. But
I'm sure it's that interview Dolph. I didn't listen to Dolph's interview. I must have been out of the room.
was it not? I may have it confused with somebody else. See, this is.
You think you may? I think you may have confused it with
the
other villains.
Well, they're also interchangeable to me these days. It's just.
Oh yeah, when you've watched wrestling for God knows how many years, you get used to all of it.
Well, I get used to all of it, but there's also back in the ruthless aggression era, back in the attitude era, back in the cartoon era, the 80s or the new generation era, everybody, whether it was good or bad, mind you, had distinct characters.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, whether it be a face or a heel, they're all pretty interchangeable. Dolph's interchangeable with Drew. Seth's interchangeable with Roman. I mean, Sammy and KO or Kevin Owens are pretty interchangeable. It's like they've neutered everybody's character, and they're just a creator wrestler from a WWE game.
Yeah,
Absolutely agree.
I mean, if you actually look, like, and I'm looking at them right now because I'm doing something in the background. If you look at a bunch of them, there's more entertaining looking creator wrestlers than there are actual real wrestlers. It's
Well,
not to say that those it's not to say that those wrestlers can't wrestle or they can't be entertaining. It's the fact that the audience might be wanting one thing, but they're not going to get that one thing, and the person who is ultimately in charge of that thing is not going to give it to them because he's a man-child.
they're not letting the wrestlers speak for themselves. They're being told what to say, so you can't get a personality across when everybody sounds the same.
Exactly.
Your heels are throwing out the same insults. Your faces have the same comebacks. It's everybody. That's what makes them entertaining. This is why right now, to me, on the main roster, Bray Wyatt is the most entertaining thing because
Yeah, because they're
he
actually doing their own promos, and
yeah
it works.
he's given full from what I've heard. You know, I mean, it's internet wrestling news, whether it's horse shit or not. You know, it's I
Right.
believe that he is given full freedom to say and do what he wants, and that's what
Yeah,
makes him so different than
there
everybody else.
isn't someone there, like, he's got a writer, but it's like he and other people are coming up with the material.
They're working
So,
together instead of him being told what to say. Now,
mm-hmm,
whether when he
mm-hmm,
actually shows up on TV in the arena, starts wrestling again, whether that changes or not, who knows? They could neuter
mm-hmm.
him like they've done with so many people.
Yeah,
It's hard to say.
WWE are really good in killing people's pushes.
Well, like okay, let's start with somebody from tonight. Like my favorite match of the night was probably the Samoa Joe Ricochet match.
Yeah.
Wrestling wise, it was the best match for me. But I can't get behind Ricochet because he has no character. He's just flippy dude. I can do all these spins and everything off the top rope. Okay,
I mean, yeah, no,
why
that
can't
is
I
what
get
he
invested
is.
in him? He's I mean Evan Bourne, if anybody remembers him from back in the late 2000s, had more of a character than Ricochet does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know,
It,
I get it. Yeah.
I love how this is the Stomping Grounds post-show podcast, and we're talking about,
well,
know,
it ties into Stomping Grounds though.
I guess
Yes, it
so.
is. It does.
They're
It's
stomping people's careers into the grounds.
They're
shut up.
he's not 100% wrong. I mean,
No, he's not. He's not wrong. You're right. You're correct.
I,
I say shut up with much love, but honestly, you are generally going in the right direction. It's just really, really bad and really, really lazy writing, and it really sucks. And
it sadly it shows right. It seems like they're just so complacent right now, and tonight's show showed that. I You had one title change, nothing exciting to further a storyline or to start new storylines. Like last two pay per views, tonight's included. Becky Lynch has defeated Lacey Evans twice, clean, at Money in the Bank and at tonight's Stopping Grounds. But after the events of the main event, it seems as if they're continuing that feud. Why does
mm-hmm.
Lacey Evans deserve another shot at Becky? She's
And
lost to
now
her
they're
twice
doing it.
clean.
And now they're doing it to the effect of now you are bringing Seth and Becky's relationship into it,
For what reason?
which
Is
everyone wants to see. Like, you can't, like, we can't just let them have their relationship and, like, on the side. No, we have to make it a part of the show. And it sucks because, like, I love them. I think they're great wrestlers. I'm one of the people who probably got really giddy over the fact that hey, they're actually a couple, and that's cool, and it's not made up fictional. But then you have some people out there who are going to take advantage of that, and who's the one person who takes advantage of the relationship? Oh wait, it's the one person no one wants to be writing this for. It's going to be Vince.
Yeah, right. This whole Seth and Becky thing is just. Why do they bring private matters into the eyes of kayfabe wrestling?
Because they're trying to compete with the drama shows. They're trying to compete with the Forbidden Island, or they're trying to fight shows like Big Brother, and they're trying
Well,
to fight
it
those
wouldn't.
shows.
Go ahead.
And because they're trying to fight those shows, they've come to the conclusion that we have to include these private relationships because that's what everyone wants to see. Yes, we want to see drama, but when we say we want to see drama, we don't want to see that drama. That's not the drama people want to
Yeah.
see in wrestling. We want to see
Well,
actual character development.
let me ask you guys a question now. I mean, they're now doing the Becky Seth thing. Now they're a couple, and they're
Mm-hmm.
now actually toting that on their shows. Would it, if there was a reasonable, or if there was a good or compelling reason for them to bring it up in the shows, would it be an issue?
If there was a reason to bring it up, like if it was two people who were yes in a relationship, but they were like it pertained to the actual show's storyline, I guess like it would depend on what the storyline is. Like as long as it's not like Lita and Kane having a kid together kind of deal, I'm okay with it. And I the one thing I fear is that what
Like,
if and this is coming from and this is most likely going to um come from Vince, and Vince has mentioned he has these weird ideas, and what if one of the ideas is that this Seth and Corbin feud is gonna get so bad that it includes a rape angle.
we've already
And then,
done that with Kane though, because I mean
Exactly.
they did everything but say that Kane raped Lita.
Yeah, but what's to stop them from trying to do that ever again?
Nothing's stopping them. I mean, if anything, since they're
Like
beholden, they're
nobody
not
wants to see that
completely.
storyline.
No, nobody wants to see that storyline. Doesn't mean they won't try it. At least start it. But what will stop them from continuing it and make them
Sponsors.
profit is the sponsors or the network. They're so
Oh yeah, the
beholden.
sponsors will freak if they hear about that.
Well, look what the sponsors have done in the past uh, with Daniel Bryan getting fired because of Mattel
Yeah. Choking
during the
people's not
beginning of
okay, ladies and gentlemen.
and then the WWE wasn't going to punish Lars Sullivan for any of his things he said before he joined,
Don't
or
say
even during his
racist
early.
things, kids.
But
the jabroni.
once the fans let one of the sponsors know about Lars Sullivan, then WWE was like, okay, we'll punish him, I guess.
Well,
And
that got
the third one,
released on a public forum of Reddit.
well, and here's the biggest one, at least for me, to my knowledge, I should say. When they started the women's version of the Andre the Giant Royal, and it was going to be the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal,
Mm-hmm. I remember
and
that.
because of her what she's known for in the past, how she would basically prostitute. She was a pimp, basically.
Yeah,
Anybody she
I know the
trained.
story. Yeah, the story's
Yeah,
out
well,
there.
and
Yeah.
for our listeners, I would
Yeah,
look it up. I'm not going to go into it, but Fabulous Miller was not a good
Moolah
person
was
when she was a trainer. She did anything to keep herself on top, And
Literally.
the fans, there was such an outcry from the fans about them being a battle royal in her honor. The sponsors looked into it, saw the actions she had made in the past, and was like, "You." It was Snickers actually, or
Yeah, I
whoever
think
the
it was
main
Snickers. I was just
whoever
about
owns
to say. I
Snickers.
think it was Snickers
Um,
Snickers of all the companies coming to the defense.
and they were like, "No, you can't do this, or we will not sponsor WrestleMania." So WWE dropped it and just called it a women's battle royal.
Yeah, but the championship still looks like a women's reproductive system.
Like
Yeah,
a
it's
ovary or something.
still not going to fix that ever.
Oh my god, no. It'd be worse if they just made it pink.
Oh my god, that would be horrible.
Oh yeah.
So
You're not wrong.
let's go ahead and get into the each match individually. I suppose we'll start with the Becky
Um,
Lacey match
we could
since that
we could
was the
go
start
through
of the
each
actual
match
show.
and we can go through each match and give it like a rating, like a 5-star rating, our own rating. Like
Our rating.
I don't.
none of these
I
rate. No,
I
People
go
love
ahead.
star rating.
I'm not much of a rating guy.
Okay, we'll
It's
not
fair.
we'll not do that. That's the Dave Meltzer thing.
Yeah, I mean that's Dave's thing. I don't agree with his ratings, but that's why they're called opinions. Everybody's got
Six stars, 7 stars.
It's like assholes. Everybody's got one.
-5 stars.
So, do we want to start with the cruiserweight, the pre-show match, or do we just want to get
Yeah,
straight into the main show?
we'll just go over who won, who was in the match, and we'll make it up as we go because literally that's what we're doing. Anyway, first match was Drew Gulak, Tozawa, and then it was Tony Nese. I forgot Tozawa's first name.
Akira.
Akira Tozawa. Yeah. Anyway, triple threat for the Cruiserweight Championship on the pre-show. Drew Gulak, homeboy, my homeboy. Um, well, mine and Bowman's because we're both from
I'm not near
New Jersey.
I'm not near Philadelphia.
Tech, whatever. So, but anyway, he picked up the title, Cruiserweight title, so we have a new Cruiserweight champion. What is your guys' thoughts? Chicken?
I don't watch 205 live, but I mean, the match itself was good. There were some sickening spots in it, like uh, when was Gulak had Nice in that one submission maneuver, and Tozawa just sentons out of nowhere onto him. That looked like
Mm-hmm.
it could have really hurt somebody if it had gone wrong. Thankfully, it didn't. But I thought it was a
Mm-hmm.
good match. They actually let them be themselves out there and wrestle.
Well, um, those guys have the most freedom out of everybody to do what they feel is to do what they want.
There's there's
So,
only one brand, according to now. Granted, this is a story that came out this past week. According to Kenta, the former Hideo
mm-hmm.
Itami,
Yes,
in NXT, he was allowed to do anything he wants, to go to sleep. The move he created, to go to sleep. But when
yes,
he got moved to 205, they neutered him. He wasn't allowed to do the go to sleep anymore, or his running knee, because Daniel Bryan was doing
yeah,
the running knee. And so I I agree with you that out of the quote unquote main roster, that 205 Live's probably got the most freedom. But out of WWE as a whole, I would say the NXT brands have the most freedom.
of course, yeah.
But
That's
that didn't stop this match from being a good match. It was a good wrestling match
no,
altogether. I'm not a big fan of three ways, because you usually have, like, one guy gets thrown out of the ring like immediately, and he'll like act like it's death for like the first 5 minutes, and then it's one on one. But
yeah,
this had more all three of them working together than most three-way matches I see, at least in the WWE.
yeah, no. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was a really good match. It was hard hitting. Um, what what I feel they should do, and they won't do it because it's WWE and they're not gonna do what we want them to do. Is I feel like what they should do is take the cruiserweights and put them on the takeovers. I think that's something they should do.
I would agree with that. I mean, they've like before NXT, well, even after NXT UK started, they would defend the UK title on takeovers.
Mm-hmm.
So why not do that with the cruiserweights? I mean, if the rumors are true that 205 Live is on its deathbed,
Pretty much, yeah. From
uh,
if you believe what they say.
yeah, if you believe the internet rumors and whatnot, um, when 205 Live officially dies, you could either rework the main roster. Now, this all depends on them actually enforcing the brand split once WWE moves SmackDown to Fox.
But my wild card rule.
That I think that if they're just running in place until
It's the dumbest
SmackDown,
shit in the world. I
it is
completely
the dumbest
agree.
shit.
Fuck the wild card rule, man.
Do
It just
do what they
Yeah.
do what they did in the first brand split, where
Well, we're not
you
going to gain
have
any sponsors with that.
well, no, you put the cruiserweights on SmackDown, put the women on Raw. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I get you. I
you,
was joking with the with Bowman there.
huge scope.
But yeah, no. Like they totally deserve to be on
they
the
deserve to be on the main show ahead of some of the other matches we
Mhm.
got. They could have.
Like that that SmackDown Tag Title match could have been on the pre-show.
Yeah, I
I
would
mean,
if
I get
I
it.
were booking it. It's because it was Daniel Bryan. It
Hmm.
was in his home state.
Yeah, which he should have lost, but he didn't because he's Daniel Bryan and he's a heel.
Well, if they let him run with it, granted, he's only been able to cut these promos on their friggin' YouTube or WWE.com videos. He's been like going on about me and Rowan are the tag team division's been dead,
Hmm.
and me and Roman are going to bring it back to
To which
glory.
he's not wrong.
I mean, I liked Heavy Machinery when they were down in. We'll get to this later, anyway. Well,
Yeah,
let's
we'll get
hold
to that
off on
match.
that. We'll get to that match, but as far as the cruiserweight match, I would say it was one of the better matches of the night,
Hmm. Yeah, it
and
was
it was still the
probably yeah.
pre-show. It
And
was probably
it was a
second.
pre-show.
It was second to Ricochet and Samoa Joe for me.
Honestly, if you gauge the entire show just based off of that match, oh, you were in for a doozy with some of them.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add? Anything you want to add, Bowman?
Honestly, I like hearing you guys talk. It excuses me of talking. But the cruiserweight match, the cruiserweights on pay-per-views always show they always like tell people like, you see, you have to watch 205 Live because this is great. And to be fair, it is, but people still don't do it. And it's just a continuous cycle of like, okay, we're going to put out pay-per-view matches. Are you going to watch us? No. Okay, we're still going to put out pay-per-view matches. And the matches are great, but I mean, people still don't follow it, which is a shame. I mean, me included. But I don't know. I just feel that people should be invested in 205 Live because I have heard great things about it. Drew Gulak winning was obviously a surprise. I wasn't expecting it. I just thought, Nice was going to win because he's Tony Nese. But no, good result, to say the least. And happy for Drew. And that's all I have to say about that, really.
To me,
And that's
Drew
all I
winning.
gotta say about that.
All I gotta say.
To me, Drew winning was the obvious choice. So it was two faces versus a heel, and it was probably also a thank you for doing a mini feud with Kushida down in NXT.
Yes, which me
Yeah,
and Bowman
right.
both saw as a live show
Live.
of.
Yeah. It was a pretty good match, I would say. But it wasn't filmed, so did it even happen?
The house shows don't count in WWE unless they're
Shows
filmed.
don't count unless they do.
Yeah.
Unless they're filmed.
But the show itself was like the cruiserweight title match itself was great, and Drew's been on board with that show the entire time it's been in existence.
And he's
He
one of
hasn't left. He has. Like, I don't know if I don't know if he's complained. I don't know if he's just been. I'm here. I'm gonna play a character. I'm gonna make the best of my situation and then go ahead with it.
he's also one of the few people on 205 Live whose character has evolved.
Yeah, right. Of all the people
Mhm,
who applied
mhm.
live,
Like Akira Tozawa was pretty much doing the same thing he was doing when 205 Live started and he debuted, and the same thing with Tony Nese. He's pretty much the same character, even after winning. I mean, he's a face now, but what's so different about him? He still comes out and shows his 24-pack abs or whatnot, however many friggin' abs that guy's have got. Yes, I'm jealous because there's no way my body will ever look like that.
honestly,
Yeah, no.
same.
I don't have abs. I have a cooler. Let's just go with that. The 6-pack is inside the cooler.
Yeah.
I've got a 6-pack, maybe a 12-pack inside the cooler.
Yeah. You just gotta open up the cooler and see what's in there.
and
But yeah, no.
that's my other problem with Nice is he's got no personality. I mean, whether it's them not letting him show
He's
it
got
or him not,
some
it rarely
some
ever
personality. I'm not.
it rarely ever comes out. But I mean, that could just be me as well. Maybe I don't see it, whereas other people do. And it's probably because I do not watch 205 Live. Maybe it shows it on there.
Yeah, I think he does. So
That's all I've really got to say about the cruiserweight match and all the people in it. It was a hell of a match, and I'd like to see them guys used in a more prolific spot.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But
The main show. Here we go.
Let's go ahead and get this main show.
So yeah,
started.
let's move on. We spent a little bit of time watching, talking about the 205 Live. First match was Becky versus Lacey Evans, which we would not see the last of at the end of the night. Real quick, couple words.
From you, me, him,
anybody who wants to talk, anybody that has a comment.
It was just a match.
Yeah,
It was a match. Yeah.
Excuse me.
I mean, there's nothing you could really say about it other than, Lacey lost again.
Lacey lost again. She didn't look strong. Lacey is a product of a even bigger issue that WWE has, and they've had for a while. And once again, this is my opinion. You'll hear me say that a lot throughout this, probably. But they call up some people way too early from NXT, and she's one of the people they called up too early. She's got her character down. She can do the character work just great. I'm not a fan of the character, but she does do it very well. But her ring work is subpar. She's one of the worst wrestlers on Raw as far as the women go. Tamina's the only woman I would put under her, but where's Tamina been since WrestleMania?
Tamina has been sitting on a couch because
She's collecting
WWE do not know how to use her.
Well, and not to get off of Becky versus Lacey, but do you really want to use Tamina when she's as sloppy as she is? The best thing for Tamina was when they put her in that tag team with Nia Jax, but now that Nia's out injured,
the thing with Lacey is she's like you said before, she She's one of those people that was called up too soon from NXT. Like the War Raiders were called up too soon, and
It's the
I can't
Viking
think of.
Raider experience machine. Get it right.
Excuse me, sorry. I can't think of another example, but people who
The
are called
Riot
up early for.
Squad.
Yeah,
The only person that's worked out where they got called up at the right time, in my opinion, is Elias. His gimmick didn't get over so well in the smaller arenas that Full Sail runs in, or that NXT runs in, like Full Sail.
almost had to go to the main roster
Yeah,
because
when he got to the main roster, that gimmick, his character, it took off.
yeah,
He's not a bad
if he
wrestler.
performed in front of the Full Sail crowd with like only
He
like
did.
100 people, it wouldn't get over.
He did. He did, and I mean, people just couldn't get behind it for whatever. I mean, he
Yeah,
was. It was less of a musician gimmick back then and more of a drifter gimmick, and
yeah,
I
he
think that
was a
also
drifter
helped
back
him.
then,
Yeah,
and
he
now
was
he's
a
more of a
drifter.
musician, and now he's over.
Well, he was also had a last name back then, because NXT you're allowed to have your first and last name, but when you get moved up to the main roster, they take away
Yeah,
one or
right.
two of your names. Like if you're Andrade Cien Almost, you just become Andrade.
Andrade.
Sounds like a Mexican vodka or something.
Would you like to have some Andrade in your cup?
The side of Cesaro.
With a side of Cesaro.
But
With all the flair included.
back to the Becky Lacey match. Yeah, it was just a match. It wasn't what I would have chose for an opener. I mean, Becky coming out first, sure, got crowd excited for the start of a
Oh,
pay
it
per
made us
view.
all think, oh, this is not good.
Yeah,
Because,
I'm not going to argue that point, but the match itself didn't get the crowd invested for what was coming the rest of the night, which was probably a good thing considering how the rest of the night went.
Like Lacey
yeah,
Evans is
because,
getting a big cast treatment because they're putting her up against an established star so often, and she's losing every single time.
It's not helping her.
I'm just waiting for her to get fired at this point. Which may be a mean thing to say, but
She's safe because she's blonde, and that's Vince's favorite thing is a blonde.
Vince loves blondes, so she's at least going to stick around for another year.
I mean, she's safe for now.
We just know
yeah,
she's going to.
well, we'll see. Yeah, it was a match. I don't know what else other to say, but it was a match.
There's really nothing else to say. That's a sad thing.
I know what to say. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the New Day. Because it was sort of more
Yeah.
interesting than that.
It was an interesting match. I mean, especially the way it started off.
Yeah, right.
Out of nowhere, you got Kevin Owens super kicking the hell out of everybody like he was a young buck.
Well, he was at one point.
Yeah, he was at one point. He was when he was Kevin back in a previous life when he was known as Kevin Steen. He was buddied up with the Young Bucks.
Well,
I remember seeing
Yeah.
him in PWG, but I thought the match started out good. It told a decent. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary as far as a tag match goes, but it told a decent little story. Xavier being the face in peril and Biggie getting a hot tag, but Kevin and Sammy being able to overcome that to win the match, which they needed the win, considering they've both looked like chumps the past few weeks against the New Day.
Yeah, I thought that the New Day was going to win to hype up Kofi for Kofi's match, but I guess
Nope.
WWE didn't think that.
Nope.
They're just like, nah, screw you. And they protected Big E.
Honestly, it was a decent swerve. It wasn't the greatest swerve, but it was decent. Like,
no,
I'm not.
It's not on the level of, it was me, Austin. It was me all along. Oh, son of a bitch. But
Yeah, no, it's not to that level, which I understand why it's not to that level. But yeah, no, I'm okay with I'm okay with how it ended because that was what I predicted in our
It it
predictions contest.
and it
So
made it it helps uh it helps erase
it
the
helps erase the stain that
the
is.
stain of what happened to them the past few weeks, where they just were made to look like complete idiots.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure those at home, were probably thinking, "Oh yeah, no, New Day's gonna get this, they're gonna win, etc." And then they lose,
Well, and
which
it also helps if the Dolph Kofi feud is over. It also helps.
it does.
I think Kevin will he'll once again be the next one to challenge Kofi for the title, unless God no, unless
Lesnar.
Shane
Oh,
well, either
Shane.
Shane
Okay.
or Lesnar, but I'm thinking Shane with that rumor
Two
going
two
around that
options
she's
that
gonna
nobody wants to see.
two options nobody wants. I mean, but that's just something to talk about at a later date. But yeah, I enjoyed the tag match.
At this
Good. It
point,
was
we're all just delaying the inevitable with the WWE title scene. You know, either Brock or Shane's gonna win it, and it's just gonna be terrible. But at least
well,
the tag match was,
we'll get to that when we get to the Kofi
yeah,
match.
yeah, yeah. At least the tag match was, you know, you were able to sit through it and not wince at botches because there were none.
There
So
may have been
again,
one if there were some, they were not noticeable.
yeah, and a common theme you're gonna hear from at least me in this is that these are just matches. Like this feels like an episode of Monday Night Raw. They're just matches, and they don't really mean
Well, and
anything.
that's exactly what that match was, because we've seen it. We saw it on Raw.
Yeah,
Granted, you had Baron Corbin involved in the one on Raw. It was a 6-man tag.
we've seen it
And
on
then even
SmackDown
though
too.
Kofi, you saw it on SmackDown in that 2 out of 3 falls match, but granted, Kofi took the place of Big E in that one or whatnot. But it's not a match that should have been on SmackDown or on a pay per view. It was a match for just a regular weekly show.
Yeah.
But
Imagine we could have gotten Goldberg versus Taker 2 on that. No, I'm kidding, obviously.
Yeah.
we're not even
Um,
going to get into that match.
yeah, we're not, and that's the end of that.
You can tell
Um,
we've got nothing here because wow,
oh
this
God,
show
it was such a show. Um,
in a good
so
way.
the the show was interesting. It wasn't. It wasn't.
I wouldn't go so far as to say it was interesting. It just, like the Saudi show, it felt like a glorified house show.
Not really, because we
I,
actually had title
at,
defenses and
at,
title losses.
well, you had that at the Saudi show too. Every title was on the line at the Saudi show, except for the
Women's,
IC title took the place of the US title on the Saudi show.
women's.
Uh, well, the women aren't allowed to, because Saudi Arabia
Oh yeah,
government
that's the
decides,
thing. Not every title, but what can you really do?
it was what it was.
Right.
It felt at the most it felt like an episode of Raw or SmackDown. It didn't feel like a pay per view,
Yeah.
and nothing of much importance happened on it. And
Yeah. It's
pay per views used to feel like something important happened on them. They need to get back to that.
and I'm so drained from this friggin' pay-per-view that I forgot what the next match is.
The next match was Bailey and
I have
Alexa,
the
wasn't it?
matches right in front of me. This
Oh,
match
thank God.
was Daniel Bryan. Well, we already did Daniel Bryan a New Day.
No,
Oh no, it was
no,
Bryan and Rowan. No.
no, because Brian Rowan and Heavy Machinery came after Ricochet and Joe.
Oh, he has it listed
Because I
differently.
think
Okay.
the next match was Alexa versus Bailey.
Yes, it was. Short thing to say about the match, other than Bailey wins.
It
LOL.
was Bailey wins, which was the right way to go, at least in my eyes, and it was no better but no worse than their previous matches. The only
I don't
thing
know.
it did was it maybe continued or slightly furthered the Nikki Cross Alexa Bliss storyline.
I don't know what they're doing with Alexa Bliss, but they better just stop and let her compete for a title.
Well, that's exactly what she was doing tonight, competing
Better
for
in
a
the title
title.
scene anyway. She's way better in the title
But
scene anyway, especially in NXT with matches like versus Shayna Baszler. Like that was great.
well, I think they're being careful with Alexa because of all the friggin' injuries she's had over the past 8 months
I don't
or
care
so.
about Alexa anymore.
And
Sorry to say.
she's to me she's like Charlotte Flair, where
Yeah,
she's been even when she wasn't allowed to wrestle, she was on the show so much that you're just tired of seeing her, and she
she's
was all over the show.
she's basically like Charlotte Flair, except her dad's not famous. And
Pretty much,
Alexa,
yeah. Her and Charlotte are two most dominant females of the
yeah,
past 3 years or so, and people are just tired of seeing them.
100% agreed there. Especially Flair, but Flair wasn't even on the card, so
Well, yeah, I mean, she made a small appearance during the Ricochet celebration in the
yeah,
back, but that was
for
it.
some reason she was celebrating with Ricochet. I don't know why everyone
Yeah.
thought it was a good idea. Like I don't know why everyone was
Well, there's a
celebrating with
couple
Ricochet.
superstars who weren't on the card who were back there. Like Mella was back there.
Yeah, our truth wasn't in the show for some reason.
Well, we already
Because
did.
they showed the thing
Yeah,
with the wedding.
Oh yeah,
they
yeah,
showed
that's
this
right.
they showed that skit they did during Drake's wedding.
Should have done more, but whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those WWE doesn't
It's
have
one of those things.
one of
So
those
Yeah.
WWE doesn't really have plans for that title, so
Just introduced it and they don't have
yeah.
plans for it. Like get the fuck out.
they it's just it is what it is. It's whatever they feel like doing at that moment with that title.
Yeah. Yeah, and Vince is just using that title as a comedy prop for our truth.
Pretty much, it's keeping him on
I
TV though.
mean,
So
you're like that's the one thing we're all tuning in to see. That's one of the things we
I
are tuning in
myself
to see.
I don't mind the 24/7 title. It doesn't annoy me like some of the other crap that's on TV, but I'm unlike you guys. I know you guys enjoy it, but it really does nothing for me. I mean, and it's what interests me about the 24/7 stuff is the EC3 and Drake Maverick stuff. Our truth, yeah, I take him out of it, replace him, it or just Drake Maverick, Eric Young, them people. That's fine, but I mean, I have no interest in seeing our truth on my TV anymore. It's just
Oh.
is he's so stale, and this whole whether he's playing dumb or is actually dumb, the character, not the person himself. I don't need to see it anymore. I'm tired of it. He's been doing that since 2012.
The thing with the 24/7 title, which I love, is that they made me like Jinder Mahal, which is strange to say, but
That's hard to do too, though.
I
I'll give
know,
him
right?
that.
They pulled it off. And if you can make me like Jinder Mahal, then you got to be doing something right. You know?
That or you're sick in the head.
Yeah, well, I'm not
If
I'm not
and
that sick of our truth. I mean,
I
if he doesn't have
it's nothing against truth. I just remember seeing him back in the day. Granted, his age hurts him. He cannot do what he used to be able to do. But I remember seeing him back in the day.
yeah,
I mean, I wasn't a big fan of K Quick, and they didn't really do anything with him when he was K Quick anyway. But
Yeah.
when I first reintroduced myself to him when he was in TNA and became the NWA champion, that's the R Truth I'd like to see again. I know he probably can't do that because of his age. So use the man sporadically. Don't. I mean that's the thing with the 24/7 title that upsets me with him is that it's. I mean, somebody else may hold it for a few seconds or maybe a day or two, but it's basically it should be called the R-Truth title.
At this point, might as well put R-Truth's face on it.
Yeah, why not why not let somebody else invade Drake Maverick's wedding instead of R-Truth? You know, because he can't. I mean, he's supposedly the stupidest one out of all of them, but he's the only one that thought to invade the wedding and try and get the title from Drake.
Which is not a bro move, by the way.
Yeah, I've made this point before. R-Truth interrupted a wedding, and he's somehow still a face.
Yeah.
And everyone at the wedding had the sense of not getting involved because
exactly the best man of the wedding was somebody that's going after the 24/7 title as well.
But when you're the best man, because he had to walk the maid of honor down the aisle.
Yeah, he didn't get involved.
He had duties.
I mean,
he had a job to do.
I'll give him credit that it was funny that they did that. It's I want to see I want to see it expanded to more than just R-Truth. You know, losing the title for a few seconds and then gaining it back. Go ahead and have Carmella turn on Truth already. Have her win the title. And then Truth can go away for a bit because he's so upset that Carmella turned on him or something.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, congrats, Bayley. Next match.
Yeah. So yeah, Bayley won the title. Bayley won back the title. Nikki Cross slowly turning heel, but she's also under the spell of
Nikki Cross
Alexa.
Heel, I think. I don't think it's going to be Nikki. I don't think it's going to be Nikki turning heel. I think it's going to be Alexa. And she's fading. I mean, she's playing heel still, but Nikki. She might have won the title if it wasn't for Nikki Cross. Getting herself slightly involved, and after Bayley did that suicide dive, and so that's going to upset Alexa. Something else will happen in the future that'll upset Alexa, where Nikki costs her another match or something, and then Alexa fully just does a beatdown on Nikki Cross, and that's when Nikki Cross is full face.
Yeah, Alexa's a good heel. I don't think
Alexa's a good heel, but her character has been the same for so long that it's getting kind of stale. So give her something else to try. Turn her face, see how that works out for her. If she can't pull it off, do a Kevin Owens, turn her heel again in a month or two. You know, but I think she can pull off a face roll if it's done right.
Yeah, give her the Big Show treatment. Make her turn heel or face every 10 seconds.
Like turn 4 times in the same night.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just do a double turn, double turn, double turn, double turn.
Double turns for days.
So
the next match was Samoa Joe and Ricochet.
Right.
Correct?
I think you are.
Sorry about that. Little slight technical difficulty there. Pressed the wrong button. So next match was the steel cage match.
No, the next match was
SmackDown Championship steel cage match.
Oh, it wasn't.
The next match was the U.S. title match.
Oh, that's right, Ricochet and
you're skipping ahead, son.
Yeah.
You may want to forget some of these earlier matches, but we want to go.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Even if it's just saying a few words, we want to go over them slightly.
Yeah, my bad. I accidentally went over a couple of them.
I can't say. I mean,
we're new to this, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't tell.
I enjoyed the Ricochet Joe match. Like I said earlier, it was probably my favorite match of the night. But, I mean,
I'm shocked they gave them the title.
I'm surprised they gave Ricochet the title as well. I thought they would continue it. They may still continue it where Joe's trying to. Although, was it like the beginning of the year they said no more automatic rematches, but still they're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe may still go after the Ricochet to try and get his U.S. title back. I think Joe should be in the main event scene. He should actually probably be Universal Champion or WWE Champion. I don't care which. He should be holding the top title on one of the brands.
He should. Joe is one of those guys where he's like, he can be anywhere on the card and it still works out for him.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt him. Because
Whether he's
he
squashing
portrays
people,
he portrays that badass so well.
and whether he's squashing people, or he's in a mid card title, or he's fighting for the world title, like with AJ, it's perfect. And I mean, Joe
That
losing
is not coming
the
home.
U.S. title after just getting it back, it's questionable booking. It's 50-50 booking is what it is.
It is, and I mean, they needed to build Ricochet up a bit more before giving him a mid card title. I think.
So they gave Finn Balor a Universal title shot immediately when he joined the roster, so I'm not surprised
And he
they
won
gave
it.
Ricochet. Yeah, he won, and then he got injured, which sucked. But yeah, they gave they're giving Ricochet a Finn Balor type. Maybe not Finn Balor, but
the
more
people
extended.
people going ooh and ah for his moveset's only going to last so long.
Yeah, right.
They've got to give him a character to go along with that, or the people are just going to get bored of him within or by Survivor Series. I'd say.
Ricochet can
Ricochet's shown in the past in Lucha Underground when he was Prince Puma. He can do characters.
Yeah, and
he can be a character. There is no question about it. If he can pull this off,
he's
is
shown it in other promotions that he can do it. It's WWE's got to let him instead of him being this flippy do babyface that's just bland as hell. But I've got nothing else to say about that match. Honestly, I enjoyed it. Like I said, best match of the night for me, wrestling wise. So nothing else I can add to this conversation. So it's between you two.
I mean, I hate to say, but
thanks.
I hate to say, but again, it's another Raw match. I mean, the title change adds prestige to it, but if it was red ropes and the lighting changed, I would think I would be watching Raw because it's Ricochet versus Joe, and I don't know. The match was good, Don't get me wrong on that, but I don't know. It just didn't really
Do you
click.
have something against those two?
I don't have anything against them.
What basically what I was trying to say is it felt like just a Raw match, not a pay-per-view quality match.
Just this entire freaking pay-per-view, man. It feels like an episode of Monday Night Raw. Except it's 4 hours
Which
instead
we'll
of 3.
be watching tomorrow night because that's what we do.
Fantastic.
We've got something against ourselves where we just love to punish ourselves.
Well, I won't
We're
be in the first hour.
Secretly masochist. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll get something interesting. Maybe we'll get Brock Lesnar coming out and teasing us again. Who knows? I mean, they keep teasing the idea that. God, yeah, just bring in Bray Wyatt.
Let him turn the whole show upside down. I'd be freaking thrilled.
Have a 3-hour Firefly Funhouse. Done.
You know what? Like strings on a wall, different ideas. Takes hostage of the entire show. Puts different announcers on the show, like wrestlers
Rambling Rabbit and Mercy the Buzzard are your announcer.
Oh my goodness! Like, can we just have Bray's dream of what Raw looks like? And it's just the entire arena is decorated like Firefly Funhouse. And then everyone everyone goes out dressed in different attire. Like, it's not even their own attire, it's special attire just for that show. I would love to see that. They'll never do that, like an alternate dimension kind of deal. Like, come on now. If you're gonna do this, go all in and be ridiculous.
They won't do it. I mean, look how they screwed up Matt Hardy's broken character, so they won't do it.
Matt Hardy got injured, so
But they
Yeah, it
weren't
doesn't help.
they weren't letting him do it to its full extent from the beginning anyway.
Of course, and
Yeah.
they probably learned their lesson, hopefully, and they probably didn't.
What's this
Honestly,
WWE ever learned?
I'm kind of hoping that Matt Hardy's got a new gimmick, and it looks interesting, but I doubt it.
Matt
You
Hardy's
don't
gimmick
understand.
Matt Hardy's gimmick right now is he's basically Mick Foley, where he can go in between his personas, whether it be the V1 persona, the Hardy Boys persona, or the Broken persona.
Old man yells at cloud.
No, he's not Grandpa Simpson.
Oh, all right. Guess that's just me.
Yeah, just you.
All
But
right then.
we're getting off track here. We've apparently got nothing to say about the Joe.
This entire
Uh,
fucking
I,
podcast has just been
I
off track.
yeah, that's what happens when you have no
that,
script.
To
yeah,
go meta here, but God,
unlike WWE, we don't script our podcast here, people. So
yeah.
sorry.
And
Well, we'll try to have more of a sustained like segment type deal in the future, but
guarantees.
yeah, no,
Uh,
we give no guarantees here.
All
So
right, what was the next match?
the next match was the tag team championship match for the or the
mm-hmm,
SmackDown tag team championship match.
mm-hmm.
Oh
Heavy
yeah,
Machinery and Daniel Bryan and Rowan, the Eco Warriors.
And then the champions of Yolo County.
Yeah, the champions of Yellow County as well. That was a title for title match, I guess. I don't know.
Who the hell knows anymore?
I know it was for the SmackDown tag titles, but I don't know if the Yellow County titles were on the line. If they were, then the Echo Warriors are now double champions. It was a match. I mean, Heavy Machinery looked decent in it. They stood well against Rowan and Bryan, but in the end lost. I mean, it didn't hurt them that they lost because uh,
it was a roll-up pin.
He-
it was
yeah, it was a
one of
roll
them.
up. It was a quick roll up pin. It was a quick and dirty one.
So it's something they
Quick
could
and
continue
dirty.
that feud if they wanted to. I mean, since
Well, I mean,
there's no other tag team on SmackDown that I can think of, so I unless they're going to throw two people together, or unless Nakamura and Rusev are going to start teaming together again, you've got to continue that. But that's pretty much all I can
mm-hmm.
say about that tag title match.
Yeah, they're really building up big things for Heavy Machinery. If Daniel Bryan is being booked to roll up one of them to win, because
Even
if it was
after
a
he did
normal
that,
tag
even
team,
even after he did his flying knee off the top rope too.
yeah, right. Like Daniel Bryan, when he was with Kane, he pinned the Shield. Meanwhile, when he's with Rowan, he rolls up Heavy Machinery. Like, isn't that weird? Don't you just feel like
Mm-hmm.
Heavy Machinery is going to be built up that mountain despite Otis's horrible booking? Not
And
Tucker so much, but Otis.
Just that tag team's booking. Let's.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like it's a toy that Vince wants to play with right now, and give it a month, he'll get bored of them, and
yeah,
they'll be back to just or they'll be on main event only or something.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the authors of pain? Like, what happened?
The authors of Page showed up on SmackDown looking like they were trying to. One of them was trying to be the special guest referee for
Oh,
Baron Corbin, but that's the first time we've seen him on TV. If you don't count the Saudi Arabia
Mm-hmm.
Battle Royal, that the
why
50.
can't they just show up on SmackDown and
I,
face Heavy? What's wrong with that?
they
Everything.
they they don't know how to book more than two tag teams at a time. Apparently, it's every other tag
Yeah,
team goes to the
that's
wayside.
the
Well,
that's the thing that sucks right now with everything. Like, certain people are injured. Bray Wyatt is injured. She probably could have prospered as being an opponent for Becky Lynch because I don't think they've ever really faced off against each other.
at
You
least not in
could
WWE.
have,
No,
I mean, you could book her in a return with you could book her in a return against Bailey on SmackDown because that group got broken up. The Riot Squad got broken up.
Logan's on. Sarah Logan's on
Logan is
Raw.
with the Raw with her husband and the other dude on
Well,
the Viking Raiders.
yeah, I don't. They haven't done that on TV yet, so don't know if they're actually adding
I
her
mean,
to
she
this.
already is a part of that group. It's just she hasn't
She's
technically.
already got the face paint and everything. All they need to do is
Mhm.
officially have her join them.
Mhm.
But and Liv Morgan's on SmackDown. But
Yeah,
with
they
with
haven't done
Ruby,
anything with her yet.
yeah, they have. She's not even appeared on SmackDown yet. I mean, none of the women have really appeared on. I mean, you've had Carmella have matches, but Carmella's the only one besides Bailey that's appeared on SmackDown since the wild card rule, to my knowledge, at least, because uh, she had a match against Lacey Evans, I think it was, and Lacey beat
Mm,
her.
I want to say yes. But I'm
Don't quote me on that,
probably
but
going to get corrected by somebody, and that's fine.
somebody will probably correct us. But to my, I those, I I didn't like when they announced Alexa Bliss versus Bailey from the beginning because I understand you've got the wild card rule. That's fine. You want to let people show up on like 4 people show up on the other brand. That's fine. But a Raw person should not be able to go after a SmackDown title and vice versa.
Well, the
Keep
Hmm.
wild
that shit
card.
keep that shit separate. But they're not going to, so who cares?
Not going to
Uh,
exactly.
I but we're done with the. They don't care about the tag team division, so we're done with that tag match. Let's move on to the next match, which is actually the match that Johnny here wanted to get right to earlier, which was the steel cage match.
Exactly.
No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. What was it? A steel cage match or was it Drew and Roman?
It was Drew and
Oh, Drew
Roman.
and
Roman
Roman.
won. We don't really need to talk about it because it's Shane
Yeah, that
McMahon,
was.
and nobody really
It's
gives a damn about Shane McMahon.
they're just making Drew look even more like a bitch. Even with Shane's help, Drew couldn't win. It does not help Drew. They basically are going to rematch it again tomorrow night. Only Shane McMahon's included
It's
because it's
going to
now a
be a
handicap match.
it's going to be a handicap match tomorrow night.
So there's nothing really to say about that. You know, it's a Roman Reigns feud. You know what you're getting out of.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, no, it
Got
is
to
what it
make Roman
is.
look strong. I mean, and this is not me pissing on Roman. I like Roman when he's done Instagram videos or anything outside of what's on Raw or SmackDown. He's a likable guy. It's the way that they book him that makes people sick of him. If they let him be himself, he'd probably wouldn't get 50-50 cheers boos or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But WWE's no, we know what's best for Roman, so and he's getting the John Cena treatment. Only he gets more booze than Cena did.
And nothing you can really say. It's just Roman Reigns.
Yeah, it's Roman. I mean, his shtick doesn't change the way they do. His feuds don't change. So, I mean, if you watch WWE at all, you know how it went. It was
Mm-hmm.
Roman
Yeah.
got beat up for a bit, then Roman started Superman punching the hell out of everybody, and then he won.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
So
Kofi and Dolph.
Now we're
Kofi
to
and Dolph.
Kofi and Dolph, which we've
I
seen 5 zillion times.
I loved
But
the ending of this match. That's the only
it's
thing I loved about it.
that was a heck of a way to end the match. I'll give him that. The
I
suicide dive
I thought
was
that was very
beautiful.
ingenious. I don't think I've
That
ever
was
seen someone win a match like that on a steel cage match like that.
It was a
I can't think of anybody that's done it. I thought it was smart as hell too. It was to an otherwise just average match that we've seen how many times now, whether throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting end to it.
Yep.
It showed Kofi being smart too, which
Yeah. It showed Kofi being Kofi, and Kofi's a smart champion, and that's the thing that we want. We want a smart champion, and Kofi's the guy. They keep teasing that Kofi's gonna lose that title to somebody, but who knows at this point? Like, we don't
I'm
know what their
honestly,
plans
I
are.
when he won the title at WrestleMania, I kind of expected him to get the Rey Mysterio treatment, where he'd lose like every match on TV, but when it got to a pay per view, he'd win, but it'd be like some fluke win or DQ win.
Hmm.
For
Who
those that
knows?
remember when Rey
Mm-hmm.
Mysterio won the title back in 2006, and they had him face Mark Henry, Great Khali, and he was basically facing every big man that SmackDown had
It's just filled with big men.
until he lost it. He lost it to Booker T
Yeah.
after the King Booker gimmick started.
Yeah. And again, like, I don't know what to say of this match other than the ending, which was, like a rumble moment for Kofi. But again, it's just I nothing really stood out in this match. It's just
It
steel cage.
wasn't even for a steel
Yeah.
cage match. It was a little bit below average. They didn't do a whole heck of a lot that
Yeah,
involved the steel cage. Just
they didn't do
any
anything that
unique spots.
risky. Just underwhelming, which is, I guess, what you can call this entire show.
Yeah, it was not a risky show. Like, they did not take any chances.
And they
So
need to with the ratings going to shit or slowly going downhill and whatnot. They need to start taking chances.
I think once you see, I mean, it's gonna be one of two things. It's gonna really kick them in the ass, and say, "Wow, we really need to do something here," because they said today that, or they said today that Vince wants no more wrestling during commercials, so we're not sure if we're going to have a match, a long commercial break, and then a match, and then a long commercial break, and then a match, or if we're going to have a match that starts, and then it's going to be like some weird pause during the commercials, during the match, and then the match is going to resume. Like, they're going to, like, have it to where the heel runs around the ring and do whatever, or if they're going to have it to where, like, there's a moment where both guys are down and the referee just takes his merry old time counting to 10, and
The
when the commercial
ten,
comes back you see the referees at like 9, and then they both get up or they both do something.
Yeah,
So
well,
who knows?
as we talked about before we started recording this podcast, if they don't want wrestling if they don't want to do wrestling during commercials anymore, which is fine by me, have wrestling during the show. Don't have any during commercials. Like you restructure the show. Uh, get ready to go to a commercial when people are starting to come out. That way, the bell rings when you're coming back from commercial. Uh, just like this past Monday, you had a short opening segment. You didn't have a 20-minute long promo. And then that five-way to see who was going to face Joe started. But they went to commercial before, and they had their first commercial within the 8 minutes of the show starting. So if they're going to do this non-wrestling or no wrestling during commercial breaks, they need to restructure the show and
it's
do
just
it
silly.
well.
Or just wait until after the match to have the commercial break. How
Exactly.
about
Why don't
that?
they do that? Yeah, why don't they ever do that? But they don't. No, who knows?
They never do that because what are they, smart?
I've never heard of such a thing.
So before my dad gets angry at me, let's just move on to the last match.
Yeah, let's move on to the last match. Main event, which was an interesting match to be said the
I
least.
hate Lacey Evans.
I
Yeah, no.
I thought that was an interesting choice the um for the referee, but I also
Yeah,
at the
but
same time once I realized it was just to further the Lacey Becky thing, which should have been over.
yeah,
Then I hated it.
they should
Mm-hmm.
not have continued that. It
When you're
was
using your top title to further a different title That's not a good thing.
Agreed.
And they did it, and they know they did it, and people were not thrilled with it. And
Me
so,
included.
um, I would hope people are not thrilled with it. I would hope people actually noticed. If they didn't notice, well, oh well. That's the problem. But otherwise, um, it was a decent match. Lacey Evans being the Lacey Evans being the um, special guest referee was a surprise. I definitely was very unexpected of that. So I personally, I thought it was an interesting idea. I never thought of a woman for the referee. Um, we've only ever seen like the women as referees for women matches. That's not to say they couldn't be referees for the men's matches, but I just didn't think about it and I didn't expect it because I completely thought, oh, we're gonna get Brock Lesnar. We're gonna get Brock Lesnar. We're gonna get Brock Lesnar
Yeah,
as the special
I
guest, and he's gonna
honestly
go in
was.
there and he's gonna mess about with Seth and like cause Seth to be distracted.
I kept waiting for something else to happen. You know, because one, as we mentioned while we were watching the show, that main event started a heck of a lot earlier. It started about a half hour earlier than we expected because the show didn't go 4 hours like they have been. And I mean, once the match was over, I kept expecting something else to happen, like
Yeah,
Brock
no,
being
we were all
eliminated,
like, all right, what's
yeah, where's
next?
Brock at? Something. Whether it be Brock, whether it be Bray, whether it be somebody else coming down, whether it be another female coming down, I do whatever. Just
Well, we knew
anything.
as soon as we saw that it was Lacey, we knew Becky was going to get involved in some way. So it was inevitable.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was
That's not
predictable,
that's
kind of
nothing
like
wrong
Raw.
with it. That's something
Can't
we
really
wanted, but
expect,
we got it.
can't really
Yep,
expect much of it.
and that was, I mean, Becky came out. They did they did the deal, and they did that deal. They did the show, and then yeah, we got what we got. Unfortunately, it wasn't what everyone was really hoping for, but
It wasn't close to anything we were
it
hoping
yeah,
for. Is
no,
the
it's
sad
not
thing.
what
I
it's
mean,
not anything we were hoping for.
they didn't do anything to surprise us. I mean, yeah, Lacey being the referee was a surprise, but not a good one.
Mm-mm.
All right, I'm
And
leaving. I'm
yeah,
done.
Yep, I think that's the end of the podcast. I think we're all done.
Yep,
I think we're all
yep,
just done.
it's over.
we're
So thank you
too
for
tired of this
listening.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy it, please let us know. Please comment. Subscribe even. This will be going out on my channel, but if it gets good enough, we're gonna try and get it out onto an actual channel for its own purpose. So appreciate it, guys. Chicken, Bowman, any last words?
Just when does AEW start?
Yeah.
my final word is I'm tired and I have to go to bed.
Yep. So, uh, everyone, have a good night. Thank you. Take care. And
Yep.
this will be
Have a good
uploaded
one, guys.
hopefully in the morning.
Have a good
So,
one, y'all.
take care.
Yup.
All right, I need to type the leave thing. Next.
Yeah,
Okay.
Craig, leave.
And I'm actually gonna go. So
No problem. We didn't mean for it to go that long anyway. I
yeah.
don't think.
Have a nice week. No, I'm gonna be here tomorrow.